Countdown again.
3, 2, 1.
I didn't know that you had a crush on me. How did I never see all that we could have been? High time we turned the pages, start a story for the ages. High time we got it going, got it going on. I know it's never easy for people who love anymore, but we gotta try, 'cause you and I were meant to be. I love you, baby, and I know it takes more than words to show it. You are the one.
Welcome to the Georgia and Daniel Show. My name is Georgia from Georgia's Kitchen Show and Dan's Curious True Love.
Oh, that's good. My name is Daniel from SpecialChronicles.com. Enjoy this cutest true love. Coming up on this week's episode.
We go to a Renaissance wedding, which is my cousin Elle.
Georgia competes in the Opportunity Knocks OK Classic.
We both watched the Brady Brunch on Classic Television Channel.
We ponder renaming our podcast, episode 82.
Starts now.
Welcome back, everybody. The reason I took a sip at the top of the episode is because, well, it's been a week. We'll walk away backwards. Well, we're recording this on a different day than we usually do, right? On Thursday morning, 29th September. And we had plans to record this past Tuesday.
That's
but
good.
Due to technical difficulties on my end, because sometimes the camera doesn't want to exactly work, and so, but we got it to work this morning, and so yeah, we're recording this on a different day. You guys are going to hear this or watch this, listen or watch this, however you consume.
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both, yeah. On Friday, the 30th of September is when this episode will air. It will go live. And so if you are listening or watching this live, it is International Podcast Day on the 30th of September. And so I don't know if I still have, I do have this bumper. Let's go ahead and play that so you guys can hear a little bit about
International
Podcast Day.
Podcast Day is September 30th, and you can help spread the word. You may be
Let's play it again. So let's hear a little bit more about
International Podcast Day is September 30th, and you can help spread the word. You may be asking, what can I do to get involved? It's pretty simple. Head over to internationalpodcastday.com and check the suggestions. Then use hashtag International Podcast Day to join the conversation. You can reach out and connect with other podcasters, listeners, and your favorite podcast hosts. Remember September 30th, International Podcast Day, a day-long celebration of the power of podcasts.
And for all of you listening, babe, who do you think our listeners, who are their favorite podcast hosts?
I think that'll be the both of us.
Yes. So if you guys want to how you can celebrate, and again, you guys, what kind of Georgia doesn't know I brought this topic up, but we're kind of ad-libbing a little bit. How if you want to celebrate International Podcast Day, well, first, if you, wherever you're listening to this, if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, right on specialchronicles.com, please go leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. It goes a long way. Hit that subscribe button and leave us a 5-star rating review. And leave us your comments on our Instagram at Daniel and Georgia. Our Instagram or Facebook, right? At Daniel and Georgia. And share this podcast. Share it on your social media. Text it to your friends, family. Just let everybody know. There's a link in the show notes to our podcast page on specialchronicles.com/GeorgiaandDanielShow. Unless we change the name. Stay tuned to the end of the episode to see if we do. Babe, you going to celebrate International Podcast Day tomorrow? Well, no. It's today by the time people hear this on the 30th of September.
I might. Am I gonna do something, but I'm not exactly sure.
Well, and the cool thing about podcasts is, yes, it's mainstream now. It's hip. It's cool. You can listen anytime, anywhere you are. You can, if you guys are riding your bike, taking a walk, if you're on the bus, if you're driving in your car, if you're flying in a plane,
if you're working out in the gym,
if you're working out in the gym, yeah, all of these are places where you can listen. Just pop your earbuds in or your headphones on. Open up Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or specialchronicles.com, and just look for the Georgia and Daniel Show. And happy listening. Those 80? This is 82 of the Georgia. There's 82 episodes of the Georgia and Daniel Show, and just about 500 episodes of the Special Chronicles Show. So plenty of podcasts on Special Chronicles that you guys can listen and binge listen to. If you want to meet the Sosas, United Service Special Olympic Service Ambassadors like myself, we've got a playlist. So if you go to specialchronicles.com and hit the little yellow banner, this is Meet the Sosas podcast playlist. Those 12 hours of podcasts, so you can meet other athletes that work at United Airlines in Chicago, Denver, and Houston. So that's a series that we have going on right now. As October is National Disability Employment Awareness Month. Okay. Should we get into what we actually wanted to talk about on the show, babe?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll have you kick it off with the first topic.
Okay. I believe that will be the Renaissance wedding.
Yes.
Based on my cousin's daughter.
This past Friday, last week, about a week ago. It was a week ago, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
Did we posted that collage on our Instagram, right, Daniel and Georgia?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it is. So you guys just go to our Instagram at Daniel and Georgia on Instagram, and you might have to look back a few posts, but you can see a collage of our fun at Georgia's cousin's wedding. Okay, go on, babe. I'll let you.
Okay. First of all, I've never been to a Renaissance wedding before, along with Daniel. I thought it was pretty interesting that in the Renaissance, back in the olden days, it's based on playing games, being outside, being with friends and families, and having turkey legs for dinner or for lunch.
Turkey legs. Speaking of those turkey legs, can we just tell the listeners how big and maybe what we do is on Instagram, Daniel, and just post pictures of you and me eating these. Like, we took pictures of us eating these turkey legs because they were like so huge. I don't think we could each of us couldn't finish the whole thing, but they were
Yeah.
huge. Go on.
These turkey legs that we've had was gigantic. And I could barely eat mine because there were like other foods to be eaten as well, but I had fun doing that. Also, I invited Daniel to come because he's never met my cousin's daughter, and we had so much fun. It was outdoors, so I'm more like a outdoorsy type person, and I
Mhm.
think Daniel is too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but other than that, it was a very beautiful wedding. She looked really beautiful. She had this amazing Renaissance dress, and um, it was incredible. And I'm very
Mm.
proud that this is actually my last cousin to get married. So I'm very proud.
Cool. Cool. And they liked seeing us. And I think another thing that was unique about this wedding, and I'm sure a lot of you listeners are gonna probably give us comments about this, but there was no dancing and music at the wedding. Instead, they had board games. So like, and then they had Georgia's. My plant is in my living room right now, so I'm not. It's not. I can't easily grab my plant. But if you guys have just listened to us on audio, the audio podcast, go check out the video on YouTube and Facebook. Just search Special Chronicles, Georgia and Daniel Show on YouTube and Facebook. And yeah, Georgia, you want to show the listeners?
Yeah. So
You-
basically, they um they had a succulent table, and this is for a succulent.
Mhm.
There are different levels on how to make the succulent. I think at the very bottom there's like two different rocks, big and little, some soil, a whole lot of soil, because that's what all plants are.
Mhm.
Then little rocks on top, and then as you can see, these are, I think, they're actually moss. I actually learned that 2 days ago at Opportunity Knox. And then you also have the big part is the actual plant. So yeah, I had so much fun making these. In 2 weeks from now, I have to water them. You have to water them in 2 weeks per plant. So yeah, I just wanted to show our listeners here on YouTube, going to be on YouTube, sorry, to actually see what the plant looks like.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
they're just listening to us. If you're just listening to us, go to YouTube and search Special Chronicles. You can find our channel there, and then just search Special Chronicles, Georgia and Daniel Show, until we change the name. If we change the name. Also, there was board games, and so one of the board games that we didn't play was the game that lasts like hours and hours and hours that we didn't play.
So it's called Catan.
Yeah, yeah, and I think I might have played a little bit of it with my sisters one time when we were on a trip somewhere, but yeah, we didn't play that. I don't think anybody did because like it. Yeah,
Because that
we've been there all day anyway. But the one that we did play.
the one game that we did play was Scrabble, and
then we finished the game.
the one game.
Yeah, we finished the game after we ate.
Yeah.
Which is
Well, it's actually kind of doing in after.
say it. I kind of froze up a little bit. Did you say it? Did you say
No. What I said was we played Scrabble
Okay.
doing in after the wedding.
Okay, good. Yeah. So sorry, I think my video kind of froze a little bit, so that's why I didn't hear it. Maybe the listeners did hear it, but okay, Scrabble. And it was fun. I mean, you and I played on a team, and then your mom played on a team by herself, and then Kate and Dan each separately. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Shall we say who won?
Well, I think we were next.
They will probably be listening.
We were next.
They'll probably listening.
Yes, I was punning in with you. Yes.
What?
But
No. I mean, the sorry, the video sometimes is freezing on this episode. But did you say who won?
I was about to.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
We were neck to neck with my mom and Kate, but then me and Dan took second place, which is not so bad.
Yeah, and
And my mom actually won.
yeah,
So
so
congratulations to my mom.
there you go. That's for the winner of Scrabble. And during that game of Scrabble, I think the video keeps freezing on this episode. During that game of Scrabble, we were talking with your brother-in-law, Dan, right?
Yes.
And about the name of our podcast and our couple's name. So I think we've talked about it on previous episodes of this podcast, the Georgia and Daniel Show. But what's the name of what's our relationship name, couple's name?
Daniel.
Yes, folks, Daniel. It is the first letter of Georgia and then the last part of Daniel. So it's Daniel. And it keeps freezing. Do you want? Sorry, this is just the day that we're having. Okay. Do you want to tell the listeners, or do you want me to tell them about what we talked about with Dan, or what Dan's idea was?
Well, first of all, you were talking to him before I jumped into the conversation.
Okay, correct. Yes. You know what.
Thank you.
Okay, yes. So I was talking to Dan. So the two Dans were talking. Okay.
And I jumped in because it was my brother-in-law idea that we could have used our nickname, our
relationship name.
Our nickname to be for the extra show.
What do the young people call it?
They call it
a ship name. A ship name.
It's more like a celebrity ship name. It's more.
Okay. Well, can we just say it's ship name?
Sure.
Okay. One. Yeah. And I wouldn't call ourselves celebrities, but that's kind of.
I meant in real life.
In real life.
Blah, blah, blah. Half of my favorite celebrities have ship names.
Okay.
So that's why I played on some words, and that's how I came up with our ship name.
So there you have it. So with that ship name, I know a couple years ago we rebranded our podcast to the Georgia and Daniel Show. Name post. But we were talking after the wedding. Podcast hosts talk about changing the names when you're at a one of us wedding. I'm sure back in the one of us time, they probably podcast didn't exist back then, but we're talking about changing it to the Daniel Show, right? Oh, well, first we thought maybe the Daniel podcast, but then the Daniel Show, because
the show itself.
The Daniel Show, because this is a podcast. But so we put a poll up on our Instagram stories. Again, you guys at Daniel in Georgia if you want to follow us. And for whatever reason, I couldn't see the results of the poll, even though, folks, we both have access to Daniel in Georgia Instagram account. But Georgia gratefully took a screenshot and sent it to me. We asked you, our listeners, on our Instagram That's where we do our polls at Daniel in Georgia. Should we rebrand our podcast to the Daniel Show? And babe, you want to tell the listeners the results?
Yeah.
You want to start?
83.
Go 83? No, it's 86.
Okay, hold on.
No, 88. I'm zooming in.
Okay.
Well, you want to start with the? Okay, I was going to say
Yeah.
start with the lowest number, but
So basically, it was really up to 88, but right now I'm looking at it and it said over 80% said yes.
okay. So yeah, so 12% of you said no, and 88. Look at a screenshot looking at 88% of you said yes. So
Yeah.
there's still just 12% of you listeners that want us to keep the name, but 88% of you want us to change it to the Daniel Show. So we were going to talk about this at the end of the episode, but maybe we should just talk about it now. Should we rename our podcast? Should we rebrand our podcast to the Daniel Show? What do you think, babe?
Absolutely.
So, if you guys see the graphic for this episode, whether you're listening or watching this on specialchronicles.com, if you see the YouTube thumbnail, if you see us promote this on our Instagram, you will see this starting with this episode, we are starting to use the hashtag the Daniel Show. But maybe on the next episode, probably won't be next week because both of us are kind of busy this next month. Go on, babe.
Some of us will be traveling. So.
And some of us, meaning me,
I was thinking an engagement.
Yeah, at the end of the month. But with that, I know I told you, babe, and I'll tell the listeners, yes, at the end of the month, I will be speaking, giving a keynote in Missouri, Special Olympics, Missouri, for a weekend towards the middle end of October. But then the day after I come back from Missouri, basically the day after, I was asked for another speaking engagement. And again, it's just a quick 1, maybe 2-day trip to speak on a panel. This is as a Southern Tribal International Global Messenger with Special Olympics, as an SSIGM, to speak on a panel at the Coca-Cola in Atlanta, Georgia. So, yes, I know all of you listeners are applauding. So I have never been to the state of Missouri. I've never been to the state of Georgia. I've never been to Atlanta before. But again, that will be a quick trip. We're still working on the details. It was a little confusing how I found out about this. And I'm not going to go into all the details because I know there might be somebody from Coca-Cola or Special Olympics that might be listening. And we just want to say I'm honored that you have asked me. It all kind of came because they heard me speak in Orlando when I was at the USA Games doing a unified leadership training. And they heard my story, and that's why. So, yes, after 2 years of speaking, to now have in-person speaking engagements. So yeah. So we don't know. Again, you guys, we don't know. You probably are not going to hear from us at the beginning of October because Georgia is traveling, and then the end of October when I'm traveling on a couple of trips at the end of October. So will we record another episode in the middle of October? We don't know. Are we going to pre-record? Probably not. But are we going to record the middle of October, babe?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. We don't know. We will try. We will try to bring you an episode in the middle of October, in the middle of Georgia's traveling, in the middle of when I'm like, if there's a free window. If there's a free window. With that, babe, should we go ahead and take just a quick break and come back?
And come back, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the clock and we have 15 minutes before I need to start to finish getting ready for work. Not that much. I'm pretty much almost there. Basically just put it on my jacket and all that. Okay. So we'll be right back. You're listening.
You listen to the Georgia
and Daniel Show on SpecialChronicles.com. And we're going to take a quick break from our conversation today to learn how you can become a Special Chronicles supporter so we can continue to produce this podcast. Support for Special Chronicles comes from listeners like you. As an independent public media podcast, Special Chronicles will always be there for you. Now we're asking you to be there for us. As a nonprofit independent media organization, we can only make programs like Special Chronicles with listener support. Our programs provide weekly, candid, honest, and inspiring conversations about the people with disabilities community that creates awareness, support, and advocacy within each week's episode. Listeners tell us our shows are an enjoyable and necessary podcast for the intellectual and developmental disability community and everyone else who is able to listen to stories about life from a different angle. Please, if you and your family love our weekly podcast, make a one-time, monthly, or annual gift of thanks today. Support this podcast at specialchronicles.com/give. That's specialchronicles.com/give. And now, back. Support for Special Chronicles comes from ComEd. Special Chronicles is proud to partner with the ComEd Energy Force Ambassador Program. The Energy Force is the country's first energy efficiency education program designed for and taught by people with disabilities. ComEd is powering lives and really is powering us here at Special Chronicles to keep the lights on and our technology is powered on. As ComEd powers the lives of us, they're literally giving a voice to people with special needs. We thank ComEd for the generous support of our mission at Special Chronicles. Learn more at specialchronicles.com/ComEd. That's specialchronicles.com/ComEd.
Here's the story of a lovely lady who was bringing up 3 very lovely girls. All of them had hair of gold. Her mother, the youngest one in
who was busy with 3 boys of his own. They were 4 men living all together, yet they were all alone. Till the one day when the lady met this fellow, and they knew that it was much more than a hunt. That this group must somehow form a family. That's the way we all became the Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch. That's the way we became the Brady Bunch.
And there you have it. Hopefully we don't get in trouble for playing that clip of the theme song of the Brady Brunch. But did that coming out of the break right here on the Georgia and Daniel Show, or the Daniel Show, whatever we call it, whatever we're calling it, whatever the name of this podcast is. Babe, why did we play? Hopefully we don't get in trouble, right? But why did they just hear a clip of the theme song of the Brady Bunch?
because I just watched it just a couple days ago.
Yes, just beginning of this week on Sunday, right? We
Sunday.
tone on the TV. Folks, usually we tone on some type of streaming, whether it's Disney Plus or Netflix or some type of streaming service. But we went to the old-fashioned, taking it back to the classics, to Me TV, which in the Chicago area, Me TV is like a classic television. They got classic television sitcoms, a classic television channel, and the Brady Brunch was on.
and the Brady Bunch was on there. I have a friend who is obsessed with that show, the Brady Bunch. Her name is Eliza Gronke, and I'm really glad that we did this trailer because hopefully down the line she's gonna love this podcast.
Awesome. Yeah. So she'll love this episode. But what I think, and I forgot, there was some lesson in the episode. But yes, it's a fun sitcom to watch. But I think there's also some kind of classic family values that you can get from watching. So if you guys are hearing dinging, I am getting texts in this group text that I have with work. My supervisors and coworkers all texted in this. Yeah, plain poly event happened this Saturday. So yeah, if you hear any dings, sorry for that, for the text. Texts are coming in through my computer, iPhone, iPad. It's all over the place. But babe, back to the Brady Bunch. Do you agree with that? Like that, you think there's a lot of like family values on the?
Well, yes. Even though that I don't watch the Brady Bunch, I think what the Brady Bunch taught us is completely just life lessons and what they do every day, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. So we recommend. We're going to put a link in the show notes. I think we're going to put a link in the show notes to the Brady Bunch, to the IMDb page to the Brady Bunch. But I think when I Googled the Brady Bunch this morning, I think I found that you can, if you are in the Chicago area, you can watch it on MeTV. But I think I'm streaming. I think you can watch it on, if you have Amazon Prime. I think it's on Amazon Prime, and it might be on Paramount Plus too. But I know for sure, I think you can watch it on Amazon Prime if you have Amazon Prime Video. But yeah, just Google the Brady Bunch and see where you can watch it. If you don't have like a MeTV, a classic television channel. But yeah, it was kind of fun to rediscover that. I know it was probably on television before you and I were born, but yeah, it's kind of fun to discover some of those classic television shows.
Yeah.
So with that, I have to get ready for work.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a little shorter half-hour episode. There's nothing else that you want to talk about, right? Oh wait, are we renaming this podcast the Daniel Show, or should we talk about that next week? And maybe officially we name it. So you guys let us know in the comments. Go to our Instagram and Facebook, or you can send us a DM. Babe?
Sorry, my bad. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Daniel Georgia.
Yeah, so you guys just go ahead and DM us there, or leave us in the comments and let us know if you want us to rename our podcast. I know we did put up that poll on Instagram. Just going by the poll, there's 88% of you that want us to. So, but if you are not, if you didn't have time, again, the Instagram stories only are up there for 24 hours. So if you missed that poll, then just let us know in the comments of this episode, and on our Instagram and Facebook, and let us know. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, just let us know in the comments. If you, so that's that. You can use the hashtag Georgia and Daniel Show. Send us an, I think the new hashtag will be the hashtag the Daniel Show. So we'll put that banner up next week. Send us an email
at GeorgiaandDaniel@specialchronicles.com.
Yeah, GeorgiaandDaniel@specialchronicles.com. And if you enjoy this show, the Georgia and Daniel Show, the Daniel Show, you might also enjoy.
You can also enjoy watching me on Instagram.
Whole Instagram show.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go on.
It's my Instagram TV series. That's what I'm going to call it.
Your Instagram IGTV. I think it's IG. Maybe we just call it your IGTV series because I think that's what Instagram videos are. It's called IGTV. So it's your IGTV series.
You guys can follow me at could you?
Oh, you want me to put it back up?
Yeah. You guys can follow me at specialchronicles.com/Georgia Kitchen Show.
Yes. Sorry, babe. We should also have. You enjoy this podcast. You might also enjoy listening to the Special Chronicles show, which is the weekly podcast that I host. specialchronicles.com/show, and you can subscribe to it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you're listening to this podcast or watching. There's almost like 500 episodes of that show. If you want to motivate us to get back to a weekly podcast, or if you want to if you want to motivate us to get behind the microphone and podcasts as we talk about our adventures of our life from a different angle, you can donate to special. Right, you can support this podcast.
You guys can make a gift at specialchronicles.com/give.
Okay. All right, sorry. specialchronicles.com/give. Sorry, my dad was peeping his head into the studio. specialchronicles.com/give, and I think that's about it. Right?
Yeah.
So, folks, we will be back maybe in the middle of October. Hopefully, should we try that? You guys, Georgia has a trip coming up. I have 2 trips coming up at the end of October. And so we will try to fit in this podcast in October if we have time. If not, you guys keep following us on our Instagram, Facebook, either us personally or this podcast. All the links are in the show notes, specialchronicles.com/G-Do-82. Or just go to specialchronicles.com and you can find a link to this episode. With that, baby, it was always fun casting with you.
This is actually the best part of my day.
Yes. Best way to start the day, finish my coffee. Now, as soon as we hit stop on the recording, I will be catching the bus to go to work. If you're watching this, you see what I'm doing.
Yes, okay. Yeah.
Well, if they're listening to us on audio, then they can't see us. Okay. Should we wrap this up? Until then, you guys have a great week. Celebrate International Podcast Day, September 30th. And catch you later.
Catch you later and have the best October ever.
We closing again? Hold on. We should. Hold on. Sorry. It falls up. Okay. Let's do a proper ending. You folks, we'll catch you in the next episode. Yep. Catch you later.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Georgia and Daniel Show podcast. SpecialChronicles.com to find. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Georgia and Daniel Show podcast. SpecialChronicles.com to find links to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and don't forget to hit the bell to be notified of new episodes. Also, subscribe to our newsletter mailing list to sign up for updates and get exclusive content delivered to your inbox. Remember to do what you do with podcasts. Subscribe or follow and rate and review this podcast on Apple Podcasts, the iHeartRadio app, and wherever you get your podcasts. Finally, please share this episode and all of our podcasts with your friends and family. Help us grow our audience, reaching 5,000 downloads of our audio podcast and over 14,000 average monthly listeners. Hope you have a great week, and we'll see you back here next week with exciting new content right here on the Georgia and Daniel Show. We'll see you next week.
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.